Okay, welcome to this special episode of the goRIA live stream. I'm Chuck Vela, and for the next couple of days, I'm going to be broadcasting and recording these live streams live here at the FPA National Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. With me today, as well as a few other guests we've had earlier, and a few more we'll have later today. But right now, we have Eric Lansky, who is the president of StoneCastle, and that means we are talking today about cash. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me today, and hopefully you're enjoying Phoenix.
I should probably say welcome back. And before we talk a little bit about cash, everyone's favorite topic, certainly these days, I do want to thank very quickly our sponsor, LPL Financial. As I like to say, if you like LPL as an independent broker-dealer, you will love LPL as an RIA custodian, and we appreciate their support. Okay. So Eric, as you know, we do these live streams. This is the official live stream. I've been doing a few earlier, and I'll do some more later as part of our on the road, on location, if you will, here at FPA National. But this is our standard weekly one, which means we're going to talk today very specifically about the new content we put on to goRIA and the podcast that dropped this morning, and that's up on the website as we speak. Eric is the podcast that you and I talked about and did about a week ago, and it came out fantastic. So if you would, give the audience a little teaser, right? What were some of your favorite takeaways from what we talked about, especially from the perspective of how you're seeing RIAs use cash management as a way to get clients and to keep clients?
Sure, and thank you again for having me and this opportunity. The key takeaway that the client's most held asset class is probably the one that's least understood by advisors, which is cash. So survey after survey shows the high net worth individual have about 30% of their household wealth sitting in cash, which is an enormous number. Yet the average advisor has about a 5 to 6% cash allocation, meaning that the bulk of the client cash is being held away. And as an independent RIA, you have a unique opportunity to go after that cash, manage it, and give a higher level of security and a much higher rate with solutions like what we make available, FICA for advisors.
Absolutely. And I could just speak from my own personal experience. You know, for the X number of years, I was just sending my clients to, fill in the blank online high yield money markets, Ally, Capital, we all know who they are. And those were fine because I didn't realize we had the ability to have our own cash solution. And Eric, as you know, I love touting all the benefits of the RIA space. I am an RIA enthusiast, to say the least. But what is really, really great about the RIA space and why I'm always so juiced up on it is the fact that you're able to do so many things, right? So I came across StoneCastle, Eric, as you know, at a conference, not dissimilar to this one here, less than a year ago up in Boston. I saw it. I was like, wow, this is a great solution. 2 months later, we've implemented it. And that's really the point of the RIA space. So if you're at a broker-dealer or somehow in a captive situation, you come across an idea. You might think the idea is fantastic. You believe your clients could really, really benefit from it, but you can't implement it. And that's really the key here. And that's why I love not only your solution, but there's a lot of others that we've been able to bolt into our shop. And I know a lot of other RIAs are doing the same thing. So we don't want to give too much away, right? We want folks to go to the investment.com website. Once you're at that website, there's a tab that says goRIA. Click that tab and you're going to see the full replay of this podcast that Eric and I did. And it really goes into a lot of chapter and verse on a lot of specificity, right? How exactly are the RIAs out there using solutions like the StoneCastle cash solution and some others out there? We're very fair and we like to provide the full spectrum of things you should be thinking about as you're going RIA. And not only is his podcast there, but we're up to about a good dozen podcasts. There's a few live streams. There's going to be a ton of content next week, right? So I'm capturing all this information here from FPA National in Phoenix. We've been speaking to a lot of great, talented people, and all that content's going to be put together in essentially one podcast called Heard at FPA, and there's going to be a lot of good information. So before we kind of wrap things up, I know this is sort of a quick little teaser for what's on the goRIA site. Maybe, Eric, if you could share with us one of the best use cases that you've seen RIAs utilize this cash management solution for.
Sure, I'll give a couple. The first of which is a client sold their business. Just had one literally 3 days ago. They sold their car dealership for $50 million.
Wow.
And traditionally, that's a good business to be in.
Yeah.
So traditionally, when that liquidity happens, before the advisor puts together a plan, the money will sit at the bank that did the underlying deal. And now the advisor is able to say, rather than sitting at the bank and be uninsured and not earn much, I can come over to me. We can provide up to $100 million of FDIC insurance per tax ID. It's fully liquid, provide a competitive rate. So the advisor was able to win that business, and they could hold and control that cash versus sitting at the bank and everyone picking away and try to sell them something. And so it becomes a great opportunity for adding a ton of value, and also the advisor retaining control of the relationship. The other use case is a high net worth client sits on a nonprofit, and they realized very quickly that nonprofit cash was sitting at a mega bank, earning next to nothing, and they were able to do a lot of good by having to go into a FICA, support hundreds of communities, all the deposits federally insured, and provide a rate up to 5% APY. So it was a complete win-win for the advisor and the client and the nonprofit with additional interest income.
Yeah, those are two great examples. And, I said I want to give this as a teaser, but I can't help myself because there's so much good content about this topic. One other thing I want to kind of really re-highlight is that there are a lot of these online cash solutions that will not accept cash deposits from nonprofits, business owners, things like this. Yeah. So if you have the ability to say, hey, here's a solution we have at our shop, at our RIA, and you could take that 100,000, 200,000, whatever you have as a small business owner that's earning nothing at your big bank, money market, bring it to our RIA. That's a nice foot in the door to open up those relationships with the board members of the nonprofit, to the owners of those small businesses. I just think it's a brilliant solution, and just another great example of what you can do in the RIA space that perhaps you cannot do at a broker-dealer.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. All right, so I think we're going to end it on that. So Eric Lansky from StoneCastle, thanks for doing the podcast and joining me on this little promo for that today. And for those of you in the audience, again, if you want to see the full podcast, all the podcasts we've done, the webcast, the articles, a lot of great content. There's really a nice war chest of good information on that website now. Simply go to investmentnews.com, click the tab that says goRIA. You'll see everything that you need to see. And on behalf of goRIA Investment News, I'm Chuck Philip. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week for the regular live stream, but I'll see you later today with Matt Gardner to talk about, believe it or not, a financial planning fraternity. So tune back in a couple of hours to check that out. Thanks for joining us. Eric, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.